been a little bit over a year since SOCOM was originally released for the PlayStation 2, and the original SOCOM was really kind of the standout original game when Sony launched the network adapter back in August. Since then, you know, there's a lot of online games have come and gone, but none have really kind of had the impact that SOCOM has had. SOCOM II basically duplicates this impact by kind of replicating a lot of the things that made the original game a success, while making a lot of nice little additions and fixing some of the problems that the first game had. As in the first game, SOCOM II has a single player and a multiplayer component. They're both pretty different. In the single player mode, you take control of a 4-man team of SEALs, and you go through 12 different missions that take you to locations like Albania, Brazil, Russia, and basically you just kind of go from place to place and carry out a lot of different missions. These missions kind of all center around stealth, so the key is to kind of stay out of sight. And that's SOCOM 2's first big addition, is they've added a lot of foliage to the game. So there's a lot of underbrush, things you can kind of hide in, as well as obstacles and things you can hide around corners and wait for guys. But the basic premise of the game is that you're going to be laying down, crawling through the brush, setting up shots, and shooting people in the face. So the single player is cool. It has the same kind of voice chat command system that the first game had, and that's been improved a bit. The AI talks back to you a little more, so you kind of get a sense of your teammates as real people that are making decisions, as opposed to just the drones that do whatever you tell them to do. But that said, the multiplayer component of the game is really where the action's at. The game has 12 new maps, as well as the 10 original maps from the first SOCOM, 2 new modes, Breach and Escort, and the 3 modes also return, as well as a handful of cool new options and little variants that you can play of the existing games. So the online mode has really kind of seen the most improvement and the most changes. So there are 5 modes in all. The 3 returning modes are Suppression, which is basically kind of a team deathmatch mode. And the variant here is you can actually turn on respawning, so you can play for just 20 minutes straight instead of the kind of standard round-based one death and you're out sort of system that the game has normally. Extraction has the terrorists holding on to a collection of hostages, and it's up to the SEAL team to get in, extract the hostages to a safe zone, and that wins the game for them. Demolition puts a bomb in the middle of the map, and each team has their own base. The key to this mode is that you want to be the player or the team to get the bomb and carry it into the opposing team's base and plant it. Alternately, with any of these objective-based modes, you can just eliminate the other team and win. So you can play any mode like it was Suppression if you want to, but you'll find that if you do play that way and don't take the objectives into consideration, players will kind of sneak past you and blow up your base when you aren't paying any attention. So you definitely do have to kind of watch and play it both ways and play it by ear. The 2 new modes are basically variations of 2 of the older modes. Breach just kind of puts 1 team on offense and 1 team on defense, and the key is for the offensive team to get in and blow up the defensive team's base. So it's a lot like Demolition, except only 1 base. Escort is a lot like Extraction, only the SEALs start out with the VIPs, or what would be the hostages in Extraction, and it's up to them to kind of guide them across the level while the terrorists try and take out all the VIPs. All the modes can be played by up to 16 players, 8 per team, and there are a lot of different options you can turn on as well. So if you want shotguns only, pistols only, sniper rifles only, you can set up these options as you see fit. The game also does a lot better job of keeping track of stats and things of that nature. They've implemented a ranking system that, if you're in the top 10% of all the players online, you'll be of the highest rank, and the percentages kind of break down from there. And the key here is you can actually create a game that is rank specific. And the idea behind this is that it'll keep the skill levels kind of about the same. Of course, there's nothing stopping a really good player from just kind of creating a new account and wreaking havoc on the new players, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. The original SOCOM had a pretty impressive list of weapons, and SOCOM II expands on that. There's a few new classes of weapons in the game. Shotguns are a pretty neat addition, though they come in handy more in multiplayer than they do in single player, because the single player is really about taking shots from great distances, and a shotgun is really kind of a more up close and personal weapon. So if you're going to be running around a multiplayer map, you might want to have a shotgun. But the assault rifles are definitely the way to go for the single player. You'll also find a lot of new equipment. You'll find thermal imaging and night vision stuff in there, mines, as well as the claymores and other weapons that have appeared in the previous game. And you can also equip rocket launchers, which is definitely a cool new addition. It doesn't throw the game out of balance because you can really only carry, a limited number of rounds for it, and you have to stand still while you fire it. But the multiplayer game is really opened up by, you just see these rockets kind of streaking across the map, like whoa, whoa, whoa. There are also a lot of turrets placed around all over the place, and that's actually one of the enhancements made to the maps from SOCOM I. You'll find that a lot of these maps have kind of changed around a little bit. They've added turrets here and there, and a lot of the daytime missions take place at night now, which further emphasizes the inclusion of night vision and thermal imaging. SOCOM II additionally is a great looking game. Probably the biggest single enhancement is that a lot of the multiplayer maps just feel more realistic. The addition of foliage and things of that nature definitely helps the maps kind of come alive in a sense. And the animation of the soldiers have definitely been bumped up a notch to kind of further capitalize on this fact. Probably the most noticeable instance of improved animation and just a better, more realistic look is when you go prone in the game. In the first game, it really kind of had a mechanical look. You'd stop, you'd crouch, go all the way down. In this game, you really get the sense that the soldiers are just diving for cover. So, if you're running sideways and you hit it, there'll be kind of some inertia behind the dive. And it's these little things kind of add up and make the game look a lot more realistic and definitely a lot cooler. The sound of the game has also been improved. A lot of the gun noises are recycled from the first game, but that's actually fine because they were already pretty much spot on for the weapons they were trying to emulate. The music has kind of come a long way. It's a little more cinematic this time around, and that kind of lends a cleaner feel to the action. The music will kind of swell up when action happens and kind of fade into the distance once the conflict is past.
Do you have a light? I've lost my lighter.
I don't smoke. Maybe you'd like a drink instead.
Voice work has also been improved a great deal. They've brought on some pretty good voice actors, and in addition, the characters will kind of speak in their native tongue. So either you need to be a linguist to figure out what's going on, or you can just read the subtitles. But either way, having the terrorists and whatnot kind of speak in their real languages is a really cool feature of the game. When it comes to realistic yet fun online shooters, there really isn't a whole lot of competition on the PlayStation 2. SOCOM was kind of alone in the category. A few games have kind of made attempts here and there, but haven't really done it as well as SOCOM did. So SOCOM 2 effectively replaces the first game by including everything that made the first game great, including all the maps, and then making a lot of great additions here and there. So fans of the game will definitely get a big kick out of it, but anyone looking for an action game for the PlayStation 2 that has a lot of online stuff to it definitely won't be disappointed.